Hola, ¿cómo estás? Buenos dias, YouTube world. It's your girl Kimberly in the garden, and I want to show you guys this morning this specific thing because I've gotten a lot of requests on how to hand pollinate your squash. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to do it. So this is one of my squash plants growing in a container, as you can see. Y'all hear the bluebird? It's so loud, I love it. There's another squash plant growing in a container. And let's walk over here. And then we have these two squash plants growing just in this little wire mesh top. Now, let me give you a little insight on the squash plant before I tell you guys how and show you guys how to hand pollinate. First of all, squash plants are not hard to grow. The most difficult thing when it comes to a squash plant is making sure you plant them far enough away to give them space. Now, this is not a great example, only because I have these in the same container. That's okay, because I'm going to make them grow vertically, which is why I built this trellis, because I'm going to have them to grow vertically. So not a problem. Let you guys see that a little bit better. So that's one of the trellises that I've actually made, and I'm going to have the squash plants to grow vertically. So I'm not really concerned about spacing between those two. The second thing is making sure that they are protected and they have a lot of drainage. Now let's talk about protecting them. Protecting them meaning from the actual squash bug. It is a bug that will burrow through the stem of your plant. Here's the stem of your plant. Okay? Looks very appetizing to the squash bug. And it will, once it burrows through that, it actually will kill the entire plant. So you do not want that to happen. What I do to secure mine is I take foil, wrap it around the base of the vine, okay? And then I grow mint plants right next to it, and I actually wrap the mint plant around the squash stem, okay? I've done this with all of my squash plants this season. Here's another one. That stem is wrapped in foil, and then I have a mint plant wrapped around it. Those leaves right there, those are the mint leaves. Because it is two ways to assist in securing your squash plant from the squash bug, okay? You got to do everything you can to make sure that squash bug does not get in there, because once again, once it goes through that beautiful stem, it kills the plant entirely. Okay? Now, let's talk about the DNA of the squash plant. Anytime you look at your squash plant and you see just a long stem and that beautiful orange or yellow like flower at the top, that is a male flower. Okay? Let's look at this one. Long stem, male flower. The female will be the only part of the squash plant that actually has the physical squash attached to the base of it. Look in the top of the squash plant, or the flower. This is the top of the male flower. Hope you guys can see that. There we go. And as you can see, there's only one little pollinator in there. I call it the male penis because that's what it looks like, right? One part that has all the pollen in there, which is going to guarantee that your squash plant or squash actually grow, okay? So that one little piece in the middle there, that's what you're going to use to pollinate your female squash plant with, okay? So let's go over here. What I do, and I'm going to show you guys the female one too. So I'm going to just break this off. Okay, just pinch it off. It's really easy. And, oh, something else I want to tell you about the squash flower. This is in the hibiscus family. That's one of the reasons why it's so beautiful. And it's edible. You can fry this. You can wash it and eat it just like this. You can put it in a salad. And I've eaten it always, and I love it. It is so good. It is acquired taste, but it's still very, very good. So this, again, is the male part of the squash flower. Okay? Again, no squash at the bottom, just a stem and the flower up top. That's how you know that this is the male part. Now let's look over here, because there's no females on that one, so let's go check this one out. If you look right here, there is a squash, right? And there's a flower up top. This is how you will know that this is a female flower, because the female flowers are the only ones that physically have the squash, actual squash, attached at the bottom. Okay? And if you also look in the inside of the flower, it looks completely different, right? So you could say this is a beautiful fresh vagina, and this is a beautiful penis, because these two work together in order to guarantee that your squash, physical squash, will grow. Now let's get down to how you do it. So after you've pinched off the actual male flower, which is what I have right here, I'm going to show you guys what to do. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. So let's see. Okay, so we're going to open this up like this, very carefully. Everybody has oil on your hands, so do not touch this male pollinator with your hands, okay? One, you're going to wipe the pollen off. Two, you have oil on your hands, so you don't want to do that, okay? And if you look closely, you can see there's pollen right there on the leaf. And what looks like fur, that's all pollen. All of that's pollen, okay? There's pollen right there on the leaf. So now that we've opened this up and peeled the flower back, I'm going to take this, I'm going to go over to the female, and we're going to pollinate her. Again, guarantees that that little squash right there will grow. Be very careful, because you don't want to break the female flower, because it will naturally close back up, okay? So we just want to be real careful. Take this male stem, you go in there and just rub it on the female like that. Okay. And once you finish pollinating this one, you can actually throw this away. It's of no use, okay? So now I've gotten all the pollen off of it. This is trash. I can throw that away. But I'm going to keep my flower, because I'm actually going to eat this. So now the female squash is actually pollinated. That means the squash will grow. The leaf will, or the flower will close back up naturally by itself, so you don't have to worry about doing that. And another thing is, make sure you pollinate first thing in the morning. The squash plant opens up early in the morning, and then it naturally closes back up after so many hours of sunlight. So don't wait till the end of the day to pollinate, because your female flower and your male flower will be closed. Do it first thing in the morning. Let's check and see if there's any on here, any females. So I'm looking for the ones that actually have the squash attached to the flower. Okay, those are all males. Just look on this side. And these are all males. Now there are some females in here, but they're too small. See that? And when they start to get that like drying up look to them, that means they're going to die off, so don't worry about that. You may lose a few, no problem. But the other ones that open up, you can still pollinate those, okay? So again, this is the male stem, long stem with the hibiscus flower at the top, okay? And this is the female with the actual squash at the bottom and the flower at the top. So now you know how to hand pollinate your squash to guarantee that that squash will grow. You guys have a great day. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and click that notification bell. Happy gardening!